drove off in the nick of time. But this won't have been their first hit of the night, and is unlikely to be their last.
Yeah, just for info, they are now on the move back into to Winsley Street. Seems they've spotted something on the move.
Street North Footway, back towards China Way.
No coverage, no coverage.
The pair have ducked out of the camera's sight. These guys are obviously familiar with the patch, using the alleyways to play their criminal game of hide and seek.
Yeah, they've got our system now. Outside of press, I can hear they're doing it now, they're doing it now.
Under the cover of a CCTV black spot, the two men have stolen a pricey Rolex watch and given plainclothes officers the slip.
Yeah, Russ, can we have more units Winsley Street, Winsley Street?
The hunt for the robbers is on.
CCTV receiver.
Yeah, I've got cameras at Oxford Circus, just having a scan up Great Portland Street. That's them, that's definitely them. Got them on camera now. They're coming back out Oxford Street.
Unaware that they have CCTV eyes on them, the thieves are trying to blend in.
Just don't stop them, I'm too far off.
Yeah, received.
CCTV helps direct the plainclothes team to the suspects.
Yeah, Dave, so left. We've got pretty good coverage of them now on Regent Street.
Contact. Eastbound. If you loop round west side and come north and come up. Get a little bit. Go.
It's been a really good result to get the two males concerned in the Rolex watch robbery. It's always rewarding when you get the bad guys.
Across the river, Sergeant Roy and Sergeant Brownlee are halfway through a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, it's getting to that time of pubs thrown out, so there's a lot of drunken people on the street.
Do you know where you are now, though, so I can get a unit to come and see you and just check you're okay?
When it comes to drink on a Friday night, trouble is never far behind.
They're mucking about. You do see some of them, they'll get their shirts off and start going like that, and you just think, what are you doing? No, here we go.
Local unit, volatile males, units to assist. All started off as a bit of fun, didn't it? You had to take it too far.
A bouncer steps in to calm the man down.
Sometimes once they've got the drink inside, then they just can't be told.
It's getting to that time, it's throwing out time. A lot of drunk people around, a lot of pushing, a lot of handbags.
By the time the cops arrive, the men have buried the hatchet.
Oh, there you go. Best bait skin though. Yeah, I love a happy ending.
Sergeant Roy knows that drunken madness has only just begun.
Well, it's one of the more unusual calls of the night. He's obviously up his face on something. The governor's asking for a van to assist.
Right, if you make your two rather late, this bloke will bleep them up.
I've never seen anyone so keen to get in a van.
While some are still in full swing, others are heading for the last train home.
Oh, Jesus, now she's throwing stuff on the train tracks. Oh, and he's jumping down. Oh, for Christ's sake. That is quite unbelievable.
A shot from the 1500 volt third rail
Oh,
is
no.
almost always fatal. He's put his life on the line,
That's fucking
not
ridiculous,
out of
dude.
harm's way.
I ain't doing that.
Could have very easily been
No.
dead there.
There are over 700 deaths or major injuries on Britain's railways each year, many of them through drunken stupidity. On the night shift, there's only one guarantee.
I did it the first time. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking doing that. I did it the first time.
Anything can happen.
We've had reports of a male masturbating behind a tree.
Pretty fucking good.
Officers rush to the scene, but come up empty-handed.
It doesn't happen every day, but yeah, you do get a few calls like that. You'll deal with in a week here what some people in some forces don't deal with in the whole career. It does keep you on your toes.
Morning is still a long way off, so any respite is welcome.
You should get that tea.
No, it's not true. Sorry. Not true. It'll never get you jumping very high. Right, sir.
3, please.
Yes, yeah, so you got 3 here. I'm staring at it as well.
No, other way.
While it's tea for 2 in the control room, some punters are about to get more than they bargained for.
An illegal hot dog seller.
Callan's Patch is a prime location for illegal street vendors. And they can make a killing in more ways than one.
He just wiped his nose with his hand like that. And now he's going to cook.
Oh, that's gross.
That's it. You go on that bread roll.
As well as his scant regard for health and hygiene, he also seems to be drunk.
The unit's unseen now. So they're now throwing his hot dogs away.
The police put the man's unhygienic merchandise where it belongs. They have the power to confiscate illegal goods and fine traders up to £1,000. With the dogs in the bin, they've sent the guy off with a warning. This time, he gets to keep his
Getting
car.
annoying already. Trying to figure out.
But the trolley vendor seems to be waiting around for the police to leave.
Getting these ones or what? I want to use hints.
He clearly doesn't think it's all over.
He's going for them. He's going to take the bin. He's going to take the whole bin.
He still thinks there's a few quid to be made.
Oh.
And there'll be another hungry punter around the corner. Coming up,
If you can get down to Beak Street and Beak Street,
among the crowds, a crime that's almost impossible to detect.
suspects now on the move,
And there's a street fight with the potential to turn deadly.
Yes, fight in progress. Male IC1, black jacket, furry hood. He's just picked up a brick. Potentially going to smash that into someone's head.
I don't know what the fuck's supposed to do here. Need a handle. Yeah. Need a knife. Need another piece of glass.
I still never saw the car myself. This is going to take all day. The plans,
going to smash that into someone's head.
Pickpocketing may sound like something from the Victorian era, but it's one of Europe's fastest growing crimes. Across the country, there's a staggering 600,000 cases annually. And on a night out in the capital, one thing is guaranteed. Wherever there's a crowd, there'll be a gang of light-fingered thieves out to get whatever they can lay their hands on. The night's in full swing. The pubs and clubs are packed, and so are the streets.
So we're just monitoring a large crowd that has gathered here in Leicester Square. There's quite a few people. It seems to be sort of dancing around. There's what seems to be a gentleman with a loudspeaker playing music.
It takes a keen eye and an experienced operator's instinct to spot potential criminals in this kind of crowd.
In amongst this crowd, there's a few individuals that are not involved in the actual dancing. They sort of seem to just be involved with themselves, talking to each other. There's a little bit of a telltale sign that these males perhaps are there for something else than joining in the fun with the rest of the crowd.
There's something else in the men's behaviour which is almost invisible to the untrained eye. They've spotted a target.
With these guys, it's not very obvious, but he's using his friend as a cover whilst he puts his hand in the female's bag. He seems to be lifting his arm in and out the bag every now and again. It seems that the gentleman's managed to get something, because as soon as his hands come out, they've all stood up and walked away. It's quite clear he has got something on him from the female's bag.
The woman has no idea she's been robbed.
We'll follow the actual suspect who's taken something out of the bag. They want to get out of the area. Just before he's gone into the alleyway, he started running.
The link between CCTV operators and cops on the ground is vital.
The update from CCTV. Suspect's gone into a little alleyway, I think.
Yeah, we're on our way to Peter for Leicester Square at the moment. We'll be within a couple of minutes.
If you can get down to Beak Street,
We'll make our way.
They seem very spooked. I'm pretty sure that they've seen the officers en route. One of the males has just chucked the item that he's had in his hand into the flower bush. Suspects now on the move. CCTV comes into great effect. We can quickly replay anything that we've seen, so we've got proof that they have done something and where they've done it. So we can always lead police into where it's actually been dropped. Dave, just verify you still on camera. Now reset back towards the original direction. Left. Yeah, if it wasn't for CCTV, the officers wouldn't have known where the actual item was placed. So he's just recovered a mobile phone from the bush. Been a bit of a challenge, but it's been a great result getting them both, and as well as the actual property, and that's all been captured on CCTV. So it's a real good end to that follow.
Having your stuff nicked by an opportunist thief can turn a good night bad, but a booze-fueled night out can turn a party into a fight. And fights can have serious consequences.
CCTV FH. I see one male, Fulham Broadway.
Yes, fight in progress outside the Green Pub's house.
We're about 11 till about 2 o'clock. That's when it starts to pick up with people coming out, maybe have too much to drink, and sort of fights can break out.
Just so I put the cameras on now, I've caught a male punching up a male in the face. Luckily enough, there was units really close.
Fights like this are not uncommon. Last year alone in this part of London, 4,000 assaults and other violent crimes were committed. While the cops are mopping up one fight, Andy spotted another monster.
I've just noticed a group of youths coming and shot there. Looks like they're fighting. The guy's just climbed over a car. They just pulled over a moped. CCTV FH. Yeah, there's a large group of youths brawling in the street just off Harwood Road. You know, they're just ignoring the cars and they're just running it out across the traffic.
As the fight spills over into the road, there's a disturbing development.
Male IC1, black jacket, furry hoodies, just picked up a brick.
A moment's madness has the potential to turn this fight deadly.
Essentially, you're going to smash that into someone's head.
Andy spots a woman trying to push back the guy with the brick. She's putting herself in danger. It's imperative the cops get to the scene.
Fighting top of Harwood Road, Fulham Broadway. They're trying to break it up. A couple of their friends are trying to break it up.
The woman is holding him back from the fight. But the guy lobs a brick without knowing who it might hit. He misses. But there's still no let-up in the violence.
Police have just turned up. Whoop. Nearly run them over.
The gang scatter, but Andy has them in his sights.
The FH male is running up Fulham Broadway towards North End Road. Police officers chasing one of the males. Oh, looks like a member of the public's jumped in. And another member. He's just got off camera.
As the man goes round the corner,
Yep, they got him. Brilliant.
he runs straight into the waiting car.
Police responded really quickly, which makes a big difference. It could have turned out to be really nasty. You know, we've had incidents in the past where that's escalated, people have run over, and more seriously hurt. So that was a really good job.
God, gay.
10 hours into a 12-hour shift, and there's a welcome lull in the action.
Pretty good multitasking.
Yeah, it's a black vehicle, red. The VRM is Kilo Oscar.
Mercedes A-Class.
It's Mercedes A-Class.
You don't know cars, do you?
No.
A black vehicle.
There's nothing to do with food, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the only thing you're clueless on that. Well, it is.
I'm good at everything.
Well,
Look, I'll taught you everything.
On average, there are 2,000 crimes committed in London every 24 hours. Across the capital, drink and drugs are fueling that crime rate, with potentially lethal consequences. Soho has a long association with the seedier side of life. Around here, people usually know what to expect, but it's becoming associated with a worrying new con.
We're just watching these two guys which have been standing in and out of a doorway, hanging around. They seem to be talking to every member of the public that walks past. So we'll just keep an eye on them for now and just see what happens.
Jesus fucking Christ.
With more than 27,000 drug offences committed in London every year, CCTV is helping the cops.
This goddamn bird's so impossible.
In relation to body
I'm getting
language
sick of
with
this shit.
dealers,
90%
This
of
is
the time
first
they'll
and
always
fucking
be
possible.
fixed to one sort of point where they stand, you know, looking from left to right, trying to find a location where they can not be
They want
seen
to- they want to
by
charge you 10
CCTV or
skip.
anyone trying to watch them. We've got a male who's approaching these two guards we've been watching for a little bit now. They seem to be engaged in a bit of conversation. It seems that the male who's just approached the two guys has handed something over to one of the guys that we've been watching from the group earlier. He's leading him off somewhere, possibly for a drug deal.
Cameras have caught the dealers in the act. Time to call in the cops on the ground.
Yeah, Paul Kim receiving from CCTV control. Yeah, it's a possible drug deal going on Wardle Street. I'm going to lose coverage in a few seconds, so if you're both able to get down there, let me know once you've stopped both individuals. The dealers are very aware of where the cameras are. So obviously the dealer's taken the possible buyer out of camera view now.
Plainclothes officers move in. The suspected drug dealer is searched.
You got any evidence, Max?
You ever see? I'm showing you as soon as we're headed back towards you.
Yeah, no worries, received. So we've just had a call back from the officers. Apparently what
Fuck
the
this
possible
shit,
drug
dude.
dealer said
Fuck
is
this
that
shit.
he's busy selling
fuck
paracetamol and
this
it's
shit.
not drugs. So, well, it's only paracetamol, you can't arrest me, I'm not selling anything real.
Dealers passing off other substances as Class A drugs is becoming increasingly common. It's called skanking.
Often drug dealers, instead of selling the real drugs, what they'll do is they'll buy sort of paracetamols and they'll get them crushed up and then sell that to possible buyers, making out that it's cocaine.
Dangerously, all manner of substances are used, many toxic and potentially lethal.
Even if this is paracetamol tonight, I'm sure you said I'm trying to skunk it.
Skank it, no, out here maybe trying to impress people.
It's not just the fake drugs that can be dangerous.
We have had quite a number of fights where the buyers have actually bought something that's not drugs. You know, from our point of view, it's they've committed an offence by trying to sell drugs.
With illegal drugs worth more than £1 billion flooding our streets, what's caught on camera is putting dealers, whatever they're selling, behind bars.
It makes me feel very proud at the end of the night if you've managed to solve a crime and also to get something caught on CCTV.
I don't know if I'm gonna say fuck this shit.
Coming up,
Hang on, what's that?
a biker with an illegal delivery.
That's a bad weed. That's wraps.
Drugs. Big time.
And Andy and Nick see something they really shouldn't have.
The reason they were aware we were watching it was because we put the white light on, which is basically a searchlight.
I don't know, but I'm about sick of this shit. They want you to spend money to fucking buy hints. I'm not dumb.
Did you know that your toughest cleaning problems can be caused by hard water metals? They lock in residues like a glue on your hard surfaces and fabrics. Try 9 Elements. Its vinegar-powered deep clean dissolves hard water buildup and releases trapped residues and odors like detoxifying your clothes. Made with never more than 9 ingredients. clean, cleanse.
You're clearly someone who takes care of yourself. So why wait to screen for colon cancer? Because when caught in early stages, it's more treatable. I'm Cologuard. I'm non-invasive and detect altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers, even in early stages.
Tell me more.
It's
Friday nights are always busy shifts for CCTV operators and police across the capital.
You got out on turn 6, Rick?
Yes.
Throughout their shift, Andy and Nick have been keeping score.
Oh, this is gonna piss me the fuck off.
That's what I get, Nick.
Is that a good shout?
That's because you got the pro on tonight.
Andy is 3-1 up, but there's still time to even the score.
So what I'm looking at the moment is a well-known spot where he used to congregate. Also, there is a bit of intelligence that drug dealing is going on in the area. So we're just going to keep an eye on the games, people there.
Whatever the gang are up to, it's not going to be difficult for Nick to see. It's happening under his nose.
They haven't noticed the camera that's above them. So we're just going to keep an eye. There's another bike just turned up, Andy.
Can you still apprehend them, yeah?
He is known to us, so we're going to carry on watching. Well, we're trying to get his number plate so we can get it checked out. What is it?
A quick check shows these men are also known to the police.
Hang on, what's that? That's a bag of weed. Raps.
Yeah, drugs. Big time.
There's no way to do this. There's no way you can possibly do this.
Time to call the police on the ground.
You need to have both these boxes over here and you can't. And they have to go under that, they gotta slide back and forth with
2
it.
bags what we believe drugs.
Big time.
I'll put them in your boots. When it comes to drugs, there is zero tolerance because it can lead to other crimes in the area, also antisocial behaviour. So we try to stamp it out as soon as we see it.
A marked police car arrives before the biker gets away with the drugs. All down to Nick's experience on the job.
From working in here a while, I've learned to pick up body language and know the faces. So it becomes second nature now. And I'm just swapping over.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's really satisfying when we actually see someone committing a crime and, you know, we are instrumental to getting that person arrested.
Another point to Nick. Now he's only 1 shy of Andy.
Are you ashamed, mate?
Team effort.
The guy's 12-hour shift is drawing to a close. It's been a long night and they can't wait until they get home. But it seems they're not the only ones.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, we got them on screen now.
This game is pissing me off so bad.
Andy, I believe your thing's from it.
Nick's seen something else. With Andy 3-2 up, an arrest now would see him level the score.
These filters suck dick.
It's not so much what they're acting, it's where they're doing it.
I mean, there is an offence to have sex in a children's play area. That's gonna be white light, mate. There's white light.
It's not.
The camera councils
man,
installed
now I can't
security
get it.
lighting to deter antisocial behaviour.
The reason they were aware that we were watching it is because we put the white light on, which is basically a searchlight.
I don't fucking know. I've tried everything. There's no goddamn way to keep this from fucking doing this.
It seems like
Because you've only got 2 of these boxes to work
a
with,
lot of
not
stuff goes on in parks.
3, which you should have 3. It's stupid. The fucking game is a
Are you
scam.
missing something?
No, the game's a scam so you pay for these fucking
In
things.
Hammersmith and Fulham,
That's all it
the
is.
man in the park who joined the Class A team and the biker with
The game's a
cannabis
fucking scam
were
so you
both
pay for
cautioned
hints.
for drugs possession. And none of
Which
the prices
are
at Fulham
$2.99 for
were on
30
bail.
coins when you can buy games for $2.99, $5.99. Why would you pay for the coins?
And in Lambeth, police returned to find the hot dog seller still doing business. His food was re-binned, and he finally called it a night.
They only give you 15 hints throughout the game. Anything after that, you gotta pay for it. I've got to buy the game to pay for it. I'm so sick of this bullshit. It ain't funny. What game is that?
This one?
No, I think it's Legacy 3 I'm playing. No, because I'm gonna get the S5 DN games. Yep, Legacy. Yeah, it's that one.
The fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue. Get a low 219 for monthly summer or get 0% financing for up to 84 months and 14 models.
With an estimated 6 million CCTV cameras in the UK, we're the most watched nation on earth. Operating 24/7, these cameras are catching more and more criminals in the act.
I want to buy. I'm gonna have to buy something to play. This is getting ridiculous. I think a lot of these games are FNB and I'm not playing their games.
But the police and council
Yep,
are
that's theirs.
fighting
I'm not
back.
playing it.
I'm Nick Wallace, and I've been reporting on crime for more than a decade.
But I
Tonight,
can't.
we're going behind
For some
the
reason I
scenes
can't
in
buy this
control
game.
rooms across the UK to see how
The game I want to buy, I
CCTV
can't buy. It's
is
Big
helping
Fish.
put criminals
Elephant
behind
Games.
bars.
Future, let me be true.
From your local off-licence to the big chains and supermarkets, every store in the UK has one thing in common. They're all at war, fighting a relentless tide of shoplifters, burglars, and armed robbers.
I don't know why it won't let me pay for the fucking game.
A recent survey found
Unless the card doesn't have it on it.
2013 to be the worst for retail crime in almost a decade.
Felt like I was protecting the staff, the shop, and me and my sister.
I need to
I'd
get
do
rid
it
of
again,
some
but I
games.
doubt it yet.
In the fight against violent shop raiders, small businesses are really up against it. Without the protection of private security guards and with livelihoods on the line, some shop owners refuse to back down, no matter what they're faced with. In Leicester, shop owner Kapil Vagela knows only too well.
Our doors in the shop are always open, so we are the main targets for anybody. If somebody wants to steal, they look at the shop for money. If they're hungry, they look at the shop for food. If they're anything, whatever it is, the shop's the easiest target.
Kapil bought his shop 8 years ago and worked 16-hour shifts to build up his business. But his hard graft has been continuously ruined by shoplifters hell-bent on stealing. At its worst, someone was taking something from him 4 times a day. It was relentless, and he was losing hundreds of pounds every week.
Yes, these
I
games
think
are all
that's
the
unfair.
same.
You lose something that you've worked. Basically, most of them are adult life for. Even if it's somebody trying to steal something small from a chocolate to £100, it's still stealing.
Kapil's CCTV cameras caught many of his shoplifters and vandals in the act. But nothing could prepare him for what was to come. A masked man who was armed with a gun.
I remember a really loud, intimidating voice, and it was shouting out, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to shoot you, give me all your money."
But it wasn't just his business on the line, it was his family. His fiancée was working that day. Kapil's instinct was to fight back.
I don't know why I did it, but I just did it. But it didn't register in my head that that gun would shoot and kill me. I didn't think of that. All I thought was my fiancée, she was behind me, and I thought, first thing I can do is protect her.
The man continued to shout and make his demands, waving his gun directly at Kapil. Then, he fired.
I had that nightmare again.
First heard the loud bang, it was straight shock.
Shocked but unharmed, Kapil refused to give in. The suspect was becoming more and more agitated. He fired twice more. But finally, he realised he wasn't going to win this time. It later transpired the man was firing blanks. But Kapil's decision to fight back could easily have cost him his life. Years of thefts had pushed him to the edge.
I think it's unfair for somebody else to come and think they can take whatever they want just because they're above the law in their own head with a gun. And if somebody comes in, wake up whenever they want, just barge into your shop, take your money and just run off, then you fail.
Coming up, brazen ram raids and gangs on the rampage.
And they're highly organised, experienced, and going in, getting what they want, and leaving.
Right now, high-street crime is the worst it's been for nearly 10 years. In fact, things have got so bad that nearly 900 thefts take place in British shops every day. Shopping centres are a prime target. Designed for the ultimate retail experience, they're as attractive to criminals as they are to everyday shoppers. Chris Rafferty's been working in the CCTV control room at Peacock's shopping centre in Woking for the last 5 years. There are 150 shops here, each and every one a potential goldmine for criminals. Chris relies on his state-of-the-art control room and an army of security guards, and the fact that he knows what to look out for and often who to watch.
Charlie 15 control. White male, blue hoodie, blue jeans, green bag on his right shoulder. Well-known shoplifter just in super truck. Will make the way, please.
Chris has a number of regulars, repeat offenders who are willing to chance their luck over and over again.
More than likely they'll wear the same clothes day in, day out. Not exactly just smartest people most of the time.
Shoplifters steal for many reasons, and often they'll know exactly what they're after. Most of them have a favourite item, stealing what they know they can sell.